And today our guest is very famous scientist from Pakistan. He is serving as a professor in Health Services Academy, Dr. Musarat Ishaq, a wonderful researcher. I know him since long, and since then I'm really inspired by his journey, that the research work he was doing in different countries. So that was really very inspiring for me. And if it is inspiring for me, definitely it will be inspiring for a lot of researchers and other common people of Pakistan. So before going in detail about research and innovation in Pakistan, we would like to ask Dr. Musarat to tell us about his journey, his research journey in different countries, and what was his experience there, what was the research environment there, and later on we will definitely discuss that how we can have a similar research environment and how we can improve and promote research culture in Pakistan. So that will be a very interesting discussion that we are going to have today. So let's start with the journey of Dr. Musarat Ishaq. I think it shouldn't start from his PhD. I think we will be very happy if we can start from his early education, starting from the primary education until his PhD, and then his postdocs, and then his research experience in different countries. Yes, doctor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aftab, for hosting me. And it's my pleasure to share my research experiences I have learned over 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you asked, let me start from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So, I born and grew up in a village from Jhang. I got my high school education from my village Shahjuna, and then I done FSc in Jhang, same college where Dr. Abdul Salam graduated. So then I got University of Agriculture Islamabad admission. So I done my this veterinary sciences. I'm actually professionally vet.
Mm-hmm.
So after that I got master in microbiology from University of Animal and Health Sciences, Lahore.
Mm-hmm.
So my research interest developed when I was working as a vet in Rahim Yar Khan.
Mm-hmm.
So many patients were coming, and honestly, mostly were dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, these animal patients, I mean. So, and I was surprising, like mostly these viruses, how come like this very tiny, like microorganism can kill such a huge animal like camel, horse, cow, buffalo. So, and I then just developed interest in research, and luckily I got scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
and I went PhD for I went China for my PhD.
Right.
So I was in Wuhan University,
Mm-hmm.
so same city from where this COVID came, Corona. So Wuhan University virology college is one of the best in China.
Right.
So yes, I done their research, but then my research was on human viruses.
Mm-hmm.
I was working on AIDS virus, hepatitis, influenza, and even SARS corona, studying virus-host interaction.
Mm-hmm.
So when virus infect host a human, how our immune system responds to virus infection.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly host like a human, these proteins.
Mm-hmm.
So how they bind with viral proteins and how they interact. So that was interesting study. After that, I finished my PhD in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to USA for my first postdoc.
So just like stopping for you for a while. So you were doing research in Pakistan and then you moved to China. So what difference you have seen, like doing research in Pakistan, focusing of our laboratories and kind of infrastructure there in China and their focus for research. So what difference you found in this transition from like Pakistan to China?
Yeah. So when I was doing my master in UVAS, University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Lahore, so actually chickenpox, it's in chickens.
Mm-hmm.
So that is pox, they call pox in chicken. Chickenpox they call for human. So my research was on pox.
Okay.
So there was very basic research.
Mm-hmm.
So what I done, like I took that virus from these chicken scabs. I just grow the virus, and simply I can develop some passive immunity and
Right.
inject back. So I mean, not too many facilities.
Mhm.
So, and that was the one reason I was very motivated. I want to go abroad for PhD because I want some better environment.
Right.
So when I went China, they have
Mhm.
all latest technology. So
Mhm.
for example, there, yes, we had virus, and when we use virus and when we infect horse cells or even like animals, so we can do everything. Like we can do like sequencing, we can do gene expression, we can do protein expression. We have technology there to even study protein-protein interaction. So means we can produce proteins, we can produce antibodies, we can purify proteins. So it was like very advanced. So
Okay.
at that time, the difference you can see was, I can see very obvious difference. We don't have such facilities back in US, but
Mhm.
I got all facilities in China.
Mhm.
And that was the one reason I got a good opportunity to learn our latest technology and do very good research there.
And then you just mentioned that after China, why you preferred to go to US? What was like motivation of going to US after China?
Yeah, after China, actually, I came back Pakistan,
Mhm.
and I was looking for job here.
Okay.
And of course, after PhD, when you came and you visit some universities, you see in different perspective.
Right.
So I noticed like here we don't have infrastructure for research,
Mhm.
and I was still young,
Mhm.
so I thought like, okay, I think rather than staying here and you don't have any infrastructure for research, I can't do research here. Better I should go abroad and learn more skills, because simple PhD you were a student, but
Mhm.
when you go for postdoc and like work as a scientist, other countries you learn a lot.
Mhm.
So and I applied and luckily I got many offers in USA,
Mhm.
and I chose University of Wisconsin Medicine. One reason was that because I liked that project
Mhm.
where they were studying virus host interaction, but
Okay.
also doing mathematical modeling.
Okay.
Like yeah,
Mhm. That's interesting. So now the question, very interesting question, is on one side you was in China and then you was totally in a different environment in US. So what kind of difference you found, like cultural, scientific environment? Is there is any difference of like scientific culture in Chinese laboratories and in laboratories in the United States?
yeah. When I went USA, yes, there was a bit different culture and aspect of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So China, I found pretty much similar like us. People are very friendly, easy to make friends, very easy to mix with people, a lot of people everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like I never feel lonely there.
Mm-hmm.
And but when I went US, environment was different. Like so like everyone was very individual.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to find friends.
Mm-hmm.
So regarding research culture, so yes, China has very all advanced, equipments and technology for research. So whatever I saw in US, but culture in US was different. So
Mm-hmm.
in China, yeah, I mean, mostly students they are seen like not that independent and free compared to US. In
Mm-hmm.
US, like I noticed, environment was very innovative.
Mm-hmm.
Like environment encourage you to be innovative,
Okay.
encourage you to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
Like my supervisor there, I mean, I still miss him. He's one of the best supervisor I got in my life.
Nice.
So yeah, he always, even PhD students there, I
Mm-hmm.
start comparing
Mm-hmm.
because I was doing PhD in China, and when I saw PhD student in my lab there, so he always encouraged them, go ahead, read, think, come back, discuss with me, what's the problem, what's the solution. And then
Mm-hmm.
of course supervisor responsibility is where one student stuck.
Right.
He guide and
Mm-hmm.
encouragement. And yeah, environment was very innovative in US and bit very independent compared to China at that time. So
Okay.
no, I don't know.
So what was the next move after US? So where you was
Yeah.
like?
So in US, as I mentioned, that project was very interesting. I was
Mm-hmm.
there more than 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then I start developing my interest in developmental biology, developing transgenic animals.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from US to Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
and I joined this Stockholm University.
Mm-hmm.
So their main project was developing transgenic animal. We were using this Drosophila fruit fly as a model,
Mm-hmm.
and we were studying some early developmental genes which involve in metabolic disorders and some metabolic diseases. So it was good time actually. I learned, so I developed some transgenic animals there, and during my this interest, during my this research, I again developed interest in cancer research, and I started looking some project about cancer. And luckily, I got one very good project in Sydney, Australia, and then I moved from Sweden to Australia.
Okay, interesting. So then once again, a similar kind of question. So you was in US and project was very interesting. So in US there are a lot of opportunities in different universities. So how you decided that now you should move from US to Sweden, although like Stockholm University is one of the leading university in the world. So what made you to transition from US to go to Europe, and then what you found in Europe? So you have given a comparison like how was the life in China, and then how it was in US, and then you had a totally different experience like from Asia to US and from US to Europe. So what was interesting in Stockholm University?
Yeah. I have like one thrilling personality. Like, yeah, I always like to travel, explore. So I found like yes, the US was the best place for research, although Europe also very advanced in research. So one reason to move Europe, just again my personal kind of hobby to travel around all over the world, and I felt like it's a good time.
Right.
So I should keep traveling and exploring and learning. So yes, I moved to Europe, and one main reason was just I want to explore Europe, and I was traveling all around Europe also, beside learning scientific knowledge, my primary goal. And the reason I moved from like Europe to Australia, and again I will explore Australia. Australia is also quite advanced in research. They have a lot of resources, funding, and project was very innovative. So yeah, I moved from Europe to Australia. So the difference in research environment in Europe and US, I noticed like Europe, they are like a very, a bit like slow in doing things, but they like to do very things very accurate. In US, environment was like a very industrialist environment. Like you have to be always competitive and hard working too much, and like have to deliver things very quick. Although means both places were very innovative, and they do really good research. And when I went to Australia, environment was completely different.
Right.
In Australia, I noticed like they care. There should be work-life balance. Even I give you example, like when I went to my supervisor in Australia, I asked her, please sign this form for me, and she said, what is that? I said, it's after our works form. So I will be coming on weekend. I will be coming on like me staying in the lab till midnight because I'm researcher. She said, oh no, I don't want you to stay till late night. I don't want you to come on weekend. You should finish your work during working hours in weekdays, and other time you should spend on yourself, take care of your well-being. So this was the difference, although labs were very advanced. So we were doing very great research there.
Oh, that's interesting. So, like moving, then there is another question, like transitioning from Europe to Australia. So, what motivated you to go to Australia after like spending some time in Europe, and how was like your overall experience? Like you just mentioned that you traveled not only to Sweden but also to other European countries. So, what kind of culture is there, and uh, what is like what you felt in US? What is the difference in culture, or they are quite similar?
Yeah, like a lifestyle culture, they are quite similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think Europe, US, Australia, so
Mm-hmm.
pretty much similar in their aspect of like culture and traditions. Although, as I mentioned that in Australia, work-life balance,
Mm-hmm.
bit like they are more into this. So compared to Europe and US.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I moved to Australia, two reasons, as I said. One was definitely research project. So it was something about new project. So where they asked me to come as a biologist
Mm-hmm.
and work on the project because some plasma physicists they developed some new this plasma radio radiation machine.
Mm-hmm.
So and they want me to come and test their this plasma gun. So on some resistant cancers, mostly in melanoma.
Okay.
So yes, And this was the project, kind of innovative for me and also very attractive. So other reason again to explore, because Australia another continent, and like very isolated, far from all countries. And my initial plan was to go and stay there for 3 years, because that project was for 3 years,
Okay.
and then I want to move to other country. So, and although after 3 years of my this project, I was working in CSIRO. It's
Okay.
Australian Federal Research Organization, so quite very good in research. They have like more than 5,000 scientists. They do research from space science till agriculture, everything they cover. So it's a federal research organization, well funded. So after my 3 year work there, I was planning to move back to Europe, because I felt Germany is quite good in cancer research. I even got job in German cancer research institute in Heidelberg. So, but then I was a bit because of lifestyle in Australia. I was like, okay, I think this is a very comfortable place.
Right.
If I get same opportunities to continue my research interest and learning, so I would prefer stay there. So then I moved from Sydney to University of Melbourne, and they have very famous cancer research institute in Melbourne, Peter MacCallum Cancer Center, and later I was working in St. Vincent Institute and the University of Melbourne. So then I stay almost 9 years in Melbourne.
Wow.
Before I deciding to
time.
come back permanent, yes, here
Okay.
in Pakistan.
So, if you are given a chance now for doing research project, and you are given a chance that either you can go to China, to Europe, US, or Australia, which country you would prefer to go?
I would prefer to go China.
Oh wow.
So the reason is that because I know,
Mhm.
so in China, mostly in Chinese universities, so different reasons. One reason, they have a lot of human resource, like very easy to find master PhD student.
Right.
Second reason, Chinese students are really hardworking.
Mhm.
Third reason, they really trained well their student, like
Mhm.
undergrad and master students.
Mhm.
So, and fourth reason, Chinese universities and research institutes are well funded.
Mhm.
So I have noticed in US, Europe, Australia, research funding is not that enough.
Mhm.
So and fourth reason, like yes, it's close to Pakistan. So yeah, I can
Easily
develop
you
good
can travel.
collaboration. Yes, I can travel,
Mhm.
and I can develop good collaboration with Pakistani scientists,
Mhm.
and like yes.
So, what motivated you to come back to Pakistan? Like you just mentioned that you spent quite a long time abroad and now you are back to Pakistan. So, what was the reason that you are here now in Pakistan serving in one of the university here in Islamabad?
Um, a lot of people ask this question.
Uh-huh.
I went to several universities.
Okay.
The first question people ask, why you came back
Mm-hmm.
and why now?
Right.
So sometimes I mean, truthfully I tell it's a genuine,
Okay.
and it's a love for my country.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal from the day one, when I left my country in 2005 for PhD,
Mm-hmm.
was one day to come back and serve my country
Okay.
and serve my people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always inside me. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I lived overseas for 19 years,
Mm-hmm.
so quite half of my life. But this thing was always inside me. One day I will go, whatever I'm learning, I will teach my youth. I will share this knowledge for my youth. And I have hope in Pakistani youth,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that sharing these experiences with them so will bring a lot of change in
Definitely,
future.
that I just mentioned to you in the start of the program that you are quite an inspiration and motivation for, like especially for me and people like me, and they will be like get the motivation, like working in different countries, in good research centers, having a lot of experience, and then coming back to Pakistan and serving in our country. Definitely, you are an asset for our country, and you can contribute a lot for not only for the improvement of research, but you can definitely help us to develop research culture in our country, which is, I think, very much lacking. And that's the next question I wanted to ask you, because you had like working experience in different countries. So, what do you think, and what do you suggest to our people who have just done their, they are graduated, like in Pakistan we say like graduation is after BS, so they have done the graduation. So what advice you would like to give to those people, like either they should do their PhD in Pakistan, or they should look for some scholarship abroad, and which countries they should focus for their PhDs. And similarly, later on, I would also would like to ask, like if somebody has done PhD in Pakistan, then what advice you will give? Either they should like join some university as assistant professor, they should go to the industry, or they should go for postdoc. So two questions.
So I can assure you, I noticed like Pakistani student overseas, because I have mostly lived overseas. So they are amazing. They are hardworking. They are intelligent. They are smart. So, I mean, although it's not good to compare, but if you compare Pakistani student with Chinese, again, my understanding is Pakistani students are more hardworking than Chinese.
Right.
So they are
Wow.
more smart intellectually than Chinese, and they can change things and bring betterness to country more fast than even China.
Wow.
So now
There is
you
a
ask,
hope.
yes,
There is a
now
great
you
hope.
ask question about young people who graduated here. Yes, unfortunately, I visited few universities, and if I compare research environment here and overseas, so in Pakistan we don't have proper, like research environment. Different reasons. So maybe one reason lack of funding, other reason maybe lack of that technology and infrastructure. So, but even if there is infrastructure, maybe because of lack of funding, people, mostly scientists in universities, research institutes, they are not doing high quality, innovative research. So if young people, youth, Pakistani youth, if they really love to go in research, yes, world is open for them.
Okay.
So they should try opportunities overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think China is good, Korea is good, Japan is good. If they want to go Europe, US, Canada, Australia, and other developed places where they have a lot of funding for research, they should go definitely, and they can learn and come back and serve their country.
Okay.
So at least at master and PhD level, I would not recommend students to waste their energies here in Pakistan, at least now. But yes, in future, if things get better, we have better environment, we have real research, definitely they should also do things here. So that's my advice for them. So second question
It's about the PhD. So those
about the
who are.
PhD, yeah. So again, for the people who done PhD here, so definitely they might have some uh, less resources and they done their PhD. Definitely they should go abroad. So and enrich their skills, enrich their knowledge. I would say again encourage China is the easiest. So even Pakistani PhDs, Chinese professor might oblige them because they know Pakistani are hardworking. So they will give them opportunities. You can go, you can use their state-of-the-art equipment, you can learn new innovative methods there, also publish good quality paper there, and you can come back and share knowledge with students. So also, although my experience is that PhDs from Pakistan, unless they have their own funding, it will be very hard for them to go Europe and US because too much competitive. So yes, but countries like China, maybe Korea, Japan, they will consider because sometimes they want some other countries' talent to come and stay, and they want to develop like more international environment in their research institutes. That's the reason they even put some fundings and reserve some seats to attract some foreigners.
So now there are two very important and genuine questions. And one is like, as you mentioned, that we lack a kind of research culture in our country, and how we can improve that is one of the things is we could develop the international collaboration, as you have just mentioned, and there are so many opportunities which we can definitely avail. Like we can collaborate with so many countries in Europe. We can collaborate with Korea, Japan, and with Australia, with Canada and US. So how we can, like if you are in Pakistan, and then we have now over 250 universities in our country, so there are so many researchers who are working here as well. So how we can improve this? Like you have worked in different research institute in different countries, so definitely you have a very good understanding that how we can develop good research collaborations. One thing, Another is like in order to get, I also like have some idea that in all those countries there is a very strong linkage between the academia and the industry, and a lot of funding is also coming from the industry, which we don't have in Pakistan. So the two questions, like one is how we can develop the international collaborations, another is how we can improve better linkage with the industry in Pakistan, so we can get more funding in our universities. We can work on the real research problems, and we can also improve our industry and also the export of our country. So what is your perspective on these two questions?
Yeah. Uh, Even like developed countries,
Mm-hmm.
so Australia, US, Sweden, I give
Mhm.
example of them because I was working as a scientist there. So their focus, like from basic, although they still support basic research, without basic research, you can't develop your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But they are more focused, like it was easy to get funding when your project is industry oriented.
Right.
It means your research is facilitating industry.
Mm-hmm.
And even like in Australia, I give example of Australia. When I was in CSIRO, so last year of my contract, so CSIRO done changes like 180-degree.
Mm-hmm.
So they advise if you don't have 50% funding from industry,
Mm-hmm.
you will not continue working in CSIRO. All the people lost jobs, lost their labs,
Mm-hmm.
so who don't have funding and project from industry.
Okay.
So why I think that makes sense to us, because yes, research should be to facilitate industry.
Mm-hmm.
It means your research should be innovative.
Okay.
So
Definitely.
where
Mm-hmm.
that they will be research will be translated to industry,
Mm-hmm.
develop products, and that industry can sell the products, bring money. So even country will be flourished, and also it will bring money for research.
Mm-hmm.
So same in Pakistan. So I think Pakistani scientists, researchers, they should do innovative research.
Mm-hmm.
They should, collaborate with industry,
Mm-hmm.
and their all projects should be industry oriented.
Okay.
They should solve the problems of industry.
Mm-hmm.
They should actually help the industry to be innovative, and according to this time, like they
Mm-hmm.
should be competitive with the world top class industries.
Mm-hmm.
So and then of course, I mean, this industry will support this funding. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, Pakistani government is very poor,
Mm-hmm.
so they are not spending enough money for research.
Right.
And the one reason, I mean, if you ask this question, what's the difference between Pakistan and foreign countries research?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Pakistani scientists and researchers don't have money for real research. I give
Right.
you example, like when I was working in my last project,
Mm-hmm.
so even one charitable organization,
Mm-hmm.
so it was Lipodema, Australia,
Okay.
so they were funding my project more than 200,000 Australian dollar
Mm-hmm.
every year, and
Wow.
I was spending this amount for just one project.
Mm-hmm.
So I even hired one PhD student.
Mm-hmm.
So can you imagine anywhere here in Pakistan, Pakistani government or any philanthropic, they give such a big amount of money to any research project?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe very hard,
Right.
impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, research, particularly innovative research, state of the art research need a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Pakistani researchers should focus on industry.
Mm-hmm.
So they should collaborate with industry
Mm-hmm.
to bring the money and do real good research.
Okay, so time is actually very short, so we have to conclude this as well. So at the end, I would like to, uh, like, you should give a message to our young researchers who are working in Pakistan, what they should focus on, and definitely you have like just touched that they should look for other opportunities in different countries, should study there, and then come back to Pakistan. So what else you would like to say to our young researchers?
Yeah. So my message for young researcher is one example.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in China, so my supervisor, he was teaching molecular biology course, and I was assisting him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like 100 student class.
Okay.
More than 85 students every year,
Mm-hmm.
they get US PhD scholarship, and they go
Amazing.
US for PhD on
Mm-hmm.
funded, like a scholarship.
Right.
And I noticed that Chinese students, they were really working hard.
Mm-hmm.
So they like not only their GPA wise, they were very good.
Mm-hmm.
They have very good trained and skilled in the lab, so in like experiments and also technically. And then they work hard, whatever requirement to enter in graduate school like GRE and TOEFL. So they are always very welcomed in US. I would encourage Pakistani youth. So world is open for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they should work hard if they really want to be real scientists. So world is open for them.
Right.
They should work hard from the day one. Like for example, when they are in undergrad or master, they should plan. So work hard, keep their GPA good, and also fulfill the other requirement whatever universities have, and go abroad and finish their PhD, do good research, come back Pakistan, serve your country. And I believe Chinese, they are developing their countries. Most of these people, Chinese scientists, they went other countries and then they came back. They are helping their nation to develop, and they are the world fast growing economy. So, and also China is spending a lot of money to send their young students and scientists to go abroad, learn the knowledge, come back and serve their country. So this is my message for you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Musarat Ishaq. It's wonderful talking to you. Thank you once again for sparing time, and it was really very interesting discussion. And we can conclude that, as Dr. Ishaq mentioned, that we should work on our real problems. We can bring the innovation in our country, and only through the innovation we can not only solve our country's problem, but we can also strengthen the industry and we can improve the economy of our country. So with this, thank you very much once again, and do listen to us, do join us in our future discussions, and hopefully you will learn a lot of new things and new ideas. Thank you once again.
Welcome, Aftab. Thank you.